Hello coders, good afternoon. Today we're going to work through lesson 7 of the PHP code PHP login course. Lesson 7 is actually quite a large lesson because it's going through the order configuration. For those that haven't seen the previous sets of these streams, what I do is I go through the documentation that I've created for this particular course and I rebuild the project in Windows, and we're basically doing this one lesson at a time. And today we're going to be tackling lesson 7, which is all about order configuration. The project itself is it's a PHP form that once you fill out, you go into a secure area. So you can't get into that area unless you're logged in. So it teaches about sessions. It teaches things like how to create HTML forms, how to deal with HTTP requests, all of that kind of jazz. Okay, so let's get into the code. Boom. Okay. So this is where we left off. This is the Windows box, this virtual machine here. I'm actually on a Mac Mini, but this is Parallels, and this is our version of Windows. On the right-hand side here, you can see that this is the secure area that we've logged into. This is all hard-coded stuff. So what we're going to work on today on lesson 7 is, if I go on to the Mac Mini here, this is PHP Storm. This is these are all the lessons. And we're on lesson 7. So we're going to be dealing with creating the order configuration. And the order configuration is this. It's an array of arrays. It's a nested array. And we have a particular user here. So think of this as the database, essentially. So we have the user with the username here. And we've got a user with a username here. The idea is that when you log in with a given username, it will find the items, the order items, and display them on this page here. At the moment, this is all hard coded. So what we're going to do is go through this documentation that I have and build all of this in today's stream. And this is the second pass, obviously, because obviously the first pass was to write all of this. The second pass is what I'm doing in these streams. And there's going to be all sorts of things that I change and adjust to update the documentation for the course. So, without further ado, let's crack on. So create the order config. Lesson 7, create order config. Okay, so here we are. Create the file orderconfig.php in the config folder. So we can see that we have the config folder in there, and that is the file that we wish to create. If we go over to Parallels here and we do an ls, we can see that we only have the user config. So what I need to do is create the order config.php file, and then I'm going to do a nano of that. Brilliant. Okay, so down. Okay, number 2, add order array data. In order config.php, add the following. So there's a big array that I need to copy and paste into there. And let me just read this. Let's just get rid of that for a second, make some room. So this is a nested associative array or arrays. So this is an example of where the second pass of the documentation is actually very important. So this doesn't make any sense. This is a nested associative array or arrays. I think that's fine. This is a nested associative array. Each subarray, I think we should say each nested array, has a user element. So there's the user element that has the value of the user's username. There's no need to put that in. Username. There we go. Okay, there is also an items array which holds the order items for that user. So we have an items here. I think that makes more sense. This is a nested associative array. Each nested array has a user element that has. Each nested array has a user element. User key, user index, because it's an associative array. No, it's a key because it's an associative array. Index is an integer. So each nested array has a user key that has a user key, and with the value of the user's username. Okay, so let me read that again. This is a nested associative array. Each nested array has a user key, with the value of the user's name, of the user's username. Okay, whatever. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. There is also an items array which holds the order items for that user. Hey, thank you for joining. I hope you're doing well. So we're going to just grab this and we're going to copy this and paste this into our parallels here. So we're just going to paste that in, and we'll close that off. I think, if I can remember the keyboard shortcuts. That's not it. That's it. There we go. Save to the buffer. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Okay, so that's done. Okay, include order config, include the order config. So we need to change this. Include the order config. Include the order config. There we go. Okay, in common.php. So again, I think if I remember rightly, in the previous lessons, we referenced the full path. Yes, we did. So I need to reference the full path in here. So this would be slash, is that right? Slash common. So if we went back one, so we're on the project, we do an ls, we want to get to common. Yes, so in slash common, which means that this needs to be slash config. Trying to keep these all consistent with the so there isn't a slash on the end there. Do I need one? Maybe not. All right, let's take that off, and then let's take that off. There we go. All right, in common.php, add the following. So order config is equal to and include once of config order config. So let's grab that, copy that. Let's do a nano of common. There we go. So we need to include this, and what I should do is talk about whereabouts in common to put it, because I mean, this is what we currently have. So maybe I should say in common.php, add the following underneath. Add the following. Add the following under the user config include. Yeah, I think that's, and we'll tab that out. There we go. So this needs to go underneath. Oops. There. There we go. Yes. Okay, so let's come out of that. Okay, this will include the order config.php file and assign the array to the variable order config. Okay, have I done that? I can't remember. Yes, I have. Okay, so define the named constant order config in common.php. Define the named constant order config in common.php with the value of order config. full stop, full stop. So again, okay, so I'm going to say add, define the named constant order config in common.php with the value of, add this underneath, under the user config constant. And I think what I'll do is grab that. I'll put in like this should your code should now look like this type thing. Oh, damn it, that didn't paste in. I gotta remember that it's a different shortcut key when I go from Mac to Windows and then back again. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is grab all of this, if I can, copy that, and then go back over to here and say your common.php file should now look similar, because it might not look 100%, to this, to the following. This is PHP, and we're going to paste this in there. Okay, cool. So we are getting there. We are getting there. Let me do. Yes. Right. Hey, A. AK. Right. Yes. Okay. So that's that. We don't need to have the GNU Nano 4.0. That doesn't make any sense, or any of this jazz, to be honest. We need that though. There we go. And we'll kill some of these blank lines. Brilliant. Okay. Let me just have a little look and see how that looks on, in the Markdown world. So that looks fine. That's good. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to change that from your to the, I think, because I think that sounds better. The common. Okay, so scroll to the next one. Get orders for a given user. Okay, we need to create a function that will return the orders for a given user. Create the test file, tests order test.php. So let me grab, actually I can just write this, can't I? So this goes into, where are tests? Aha, orders, is it order or orders? Orders, okay. So that's the test file that we want. In the test file, I'm going to say make it nice and explicit. Not explicit, what's the word? Concise. In the test file, add the following class. So we want to add the orders test. Okay, the function that we will create, will be called, no. Get orders. No. The function that will return the orders, is it an orders of a given user? Get orders. I'm just having a look here. Get orders of a given user. Yes. So the function that will return the orders for a given user will be called get orders. And I can't remember. Am I doing this in object orientation? Is this an object? No. I'm sorry. I've had one of those days where I've been in and out of various pieces of code. This is procedural. This isn't object orientated. I don't think. No, it's not. It's not. That's cool. Okay, the function, that's why it's called function, not the method. The function that will return the orders for a given user will be called getOrders. This function will return, or am I just saying this, of a given username? Yeah, let's get rid of this. Boom. Okay, so create a failing test that checks that null is returned when an incorrect username is supplied. Okay, I'll put that down there. In orders.test, add the following test. Right, so we want to put this in. What this is doing is it's saying test orders with empty username. So we're passing in an empty string here of get orders, and that should return null. After running composer test, you should see the following error. Okay, so let's go and do this. So we would like to grab this, and we need to come out of this. Yes, and we need to go into tests with a S, ls, right, and then we need to do a nano of orders test.php, and we need to paste that in, and around here it's gonna, the formatting is going to be a bit naff. We need this. And that is going to go somewhere sort of here. Told you the formatting is going to be rubbish. There we go. So, there we go. Okay, so let's come out of that. Let's do, save that. And then what we're saying is we're going to run composer test. Now, are we going to be running composer test, or is there another command that I need to run? I can't remember whether I changed it in the last stream. Let me just see. This is the previous lesson, lesson 6. Do we have any tests? We do, so there must be a command that I'm going to run. That's a failing test of get user. Test composer test unit. Let's run that. So in lesson 7 here, where we say this, no, oops, sorry, let's run this instead, composer test unit, sorry, blah, blah, blah. So let's get back into Parallels and do that. We don't need to be in that directory, so we can come out of that. If we did composer test -unit, we should now see an error. I hope, if I've done this right. I don't like it when the command prompt just sort of flashes like that. You don't really know if this. There we go. Right, I'm just gonna drink some tea. Lemon and ginger. Okay, so this is the error. So call to undefined function get orders. Let's see if that is the same deal here. Call to undefined function get orders. Yep, that's the same deal. Good. Okay, this is because the get orders function hasn't been created yet. In common.php, create the following get orders function. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to do a nano of common.php, and we're going to paste that in underneath. Boom. Okay. Just come out of you, save that. Right, what's next? Run composer test. So we're going to change that to be test unit. There. And test, and the test should pass. So let's run that. Yep, they work. Okay, now we need to return the correct order for a given username. Create the following failing test in getOrders.test.php that should return an array of order items for the user with the username of how to code well too. So we want to grab this and we want to put this into our test file. So we're going to do a nano of tests and then order test.php, and we're going to push this into sort of here, I guess. There we go. So again, rubbish formatting. There we go. So get orders, we're passing in how to code well 2. So let's save that and go into here. Run composer test. Again, this is going to be test unit. Test unit. Run composer test again, and notice a similar failure message. So failed, asserting that null is type of array. So let's return that, or let's run that. So we do a composer test unit, and we should get a failing test going. Yes. So failed, asserting that null is of type array, or yeah, that's correct. So to fix the test, we must update the body of get orders of the get orders function to find the correct order of the supplied username. Update get orders. Update the get orders function in common.php with the following. Okay, so get orders. We are looping over the order config as order, and then we're checking order user is the given username, and if that is, we then return the order. Okay, and then we return null if not. So let's grab that. In fact, let's just grab the whole thing. Let's do a nano of common.php. And let's get rid of all of this. Don't need any of this now. And let's replace that with this. So I'm going to now come out of this. Okay, good. So this loops over the order config, which it does, loop over the order config array, and looks for the user element that matches the supplied username variable. If a match is found, then the order is returned. That's correct. If no matches are found, then null is returned. That's correct. Okay, rerun, so that needs to be rerun test-unit. And notice the following error with PHP stan. So let's do that now. So let's do composer test unit. Oh, it was a stan error. It was a stan error. So this needs to be run. So at this point, in this juncture, I could say rerun test unit, and notice and the tests should now pass, right? However, PHP stan, however, the code is not correct. So rerun composer test unit, and the test should now pass. Brilliant. Okay. However, I don't like starting it with however. Because if I was to do just composer test, we're going to get some errors from PHP stan, right? Let's just check that. We might get some PHP CS errors, but which is fine. So we'll do. Let's just mark that as clean. So this is all the formatting that I put in. So let's just do composer clean for a minute. Good. Script standard. Yep, that's all good. 3 files were fixed. Let's run that again. Right, so what we've got is 2 errors. One on common, and one on the dashboard. A file should declare new symbols. A new code was found in this file, and short open tags are not allowed by the installation of PHP. Oh, no code was found. Sorry, forgive me. No code was found on dashboard.php. That's throwing something completely different. I didn't expect that. Let's go to public. Where is this? There is PHP code in here. So no PHP code was found in public dashboard. Well, it's oh. I'm not looking in the thing, aren't I? Cat of public dashboard.php. No, there isn't any. Darn it. Okay, fine. So that's one. That's why that's happening. And then this one is on common.php. A file should declare new symbols, classes, functions, constants, etc., and cause no other side effects. This is to do with the definitions, isn't it? Okay, right. So, but I think the thing that I need to deal with though is PHP stan, right? And I can't. It's stan, test stan. So if we did composer test stan, I'm sure at this point we get an error. Yes, we do. Function get order returns has no type hint specified in iterable type array. That's the error that I want to play with, because this is what we're saying in the documentation, right? The other errors I'm going to have to deal with outside of this. So, rerun composer test unit and the test should pass. The code... okay, so maybe we should explain this a little bit. So it's the array. Okay, so yeah, the get orders function returns an array of data. Right, this data, the shape of this data, has not been defined. Returns an array of data. Return type has no value type specified in an iterable type array. The shape of this data has not been defined, and which has not been defined. And this is being highlighted, and I'm trying to hook this into PHP stan somehow. So the get orders function returns an array of order data. The shape of this data has not been defined, and therefore is causing and will cause an issue with static analysis. Which defined which will be raised during static code analysis. That I can't spell. Okay. So full stop. Okay, to test PHP stan. Okay, the project uses. Let's explain it a little bit more. The project uses PHP stan to test run static analysis. The project uses PHP stan to run static analysis. Fine. to see the error that PHP Stan has captured, run the following. Right, so there we go. We've hooked into it now. So we've done PHP Stan using configuration file, PHP Stan.neon, and function get orders return type has no value supplied in an iterable type array. Can I explain this a little bit better? So the get orders function returns an array of order data. The shape of this data has not been defined, which will be raised during static code analysis. The shape of this data has not been defined, which will be raised during static code analysis. The shape, the type of this data, the data type of this value, there we go, has not been defined, which will be raised during static code analysis. So the data type, yeah. So here we go. Return type has no value type specified. So I'm kind of hooking it into this. The project uses PHP Stan to run static analysis. Let me just copy that. It saves me having to work out how to type it again. To see the error that PHP Stan has captured, run the following. So there we go. Okay, this error happens because we are trying to access array elements without defining the shape of the returned array. To fix this error, add the following PHP docblock to PHP annotation to the get orders function in common.php. So here we go. Okay, the return part of the doc block defines the shape of the array with the nested array keys and data types. Rerun composer test, and we should do rerun. Okay, so to see this, run the following. So we do bin. I'm going to put that into a separate command here. Whoops. In fact, we're going to do composer test stan. There we go. And I think I've got this running on one line, right? Run. Is that right? Is that how I've been doing it? Trying to get this consistent. Here we go. Run. There we go. So to see the error, that run composer test stan. There we go. Fine, and put that in there for another paragraph. Okay, so there we go. That's the error. Okay, so to fix this error, add the following PHP annotation to the get orders function in common.php. And I think what I'll do is I'll include the actual function as well. So let's do this and put this down in here, just because it's a little bit more obvious as to what I'm talking about. So there we go. Cool. Okay, so the return part of the doc block define the return type of the annotation defines the shape of the array with the nested array keys and the data types. Rerun composer test stan. And notice that all that static analysis cannot spell it. It's too late in the day. It's too late in the day. I haven't had enough coffee. I've been working on all sorts of things. I'm just going to copy it and paste it because I'm lazy. Right. rerun composer test stan, and notice the static analysis now passes. Okay, so we're going to copy this, because what this is doing is saying, well, we could return a null, or we could return an array. But when we do return an array, this is the shape of that array. So it's a bit like TypeScript in that sense, you know, in the sense of explaining what it is that you're actually returning, the data types of the things. So we're going to do nano. We're going to go into common.php, and we're going to just take this, and we're going to put it up there. No, there we go. And that should be good. So if we come out of that now and rerun test stan, we should, fingers crossed, actually see that this passes, because we have defined, there we go, we've defined the thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this, and I'm going to copy this. If I can I copy this? And I'm going to paste it into here. Boom. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this for a second, because everyone's paths will be different. Good stuff. Let's go back to here. Cool. Okay, so let me just double check this. So what have you learned? Array shapes and PHP generics. I didn't really mention generics, did I? Array shapes. I think I'm going to change that to be just PHP generics. And let's mention PHP generics as well. PHP data types, fixing PHP stan errors. Scroll to the bottom. So where we've got this bit here, how can I hook generics in? The get orders returns an array of order data. The data type of this value has not been defined, which will be raised as an error during static code analysis. The project uses PHP stan to run static analysis. And is set to is it level 9 that we're on? Let me have a look. PHP stan neon level 9. Yeah. Level which checks for generics and the mixed type. And mixed type errors. Okay, to see the error that PHP stan has captured, run composer test stan. Cool. This error happens because we're trying to access an array of array elements without defining the shape of the returned array. I'm going to say, okay, this is called generics in PHP, just to hook it in. To fix this error, add the following PHP annotation to get orders function in common.php. Okay, there we go. The return type defined. The return type in the annotation defines the shape of the array with the nested array keys and their data types. Rerun composer test stan and notice that the static analysis now passes. Done. Okay, cool. That is lesson 7, I believe. That is lesson 7 done. So we have we've done some passing tests. What's lesson 8? Just double check that. And the time as well. What you'll learn is the nullish coalescing operator. Oh wow. concatenation of strings, ternary statements, and the modulus operator. Oh gosh. Okay, so this looks quite involved. So we're looping over the items. Oh, okay. So what we're doing is we're updating the dashboard.php with a loop of things, so items. Replace it with table with those from items. What? Oh, right. I've scrolled too fast. Here we go. Orders, get orders, passing in the username. So that's the function that we just created. And then each order will have a set of items. These order items are held in the items element of the order array. To get the order item, add the following to dashboard.php to display the username. Okay, yeah, that's fine. This is something that we can hack on next week, I think. Was it 2? Just going to check the line number count. Yeah. And then here we've got, oh yes, the modulus stuff. So this here is an ternary statement. It's a modulus and a ternary statement all in one. So this is checking whether this is odd and even, and then changing the class name. So when it prints out, it has different class, and that's a different color. So that's how you do alternate table row colors. So we'll deal with that next week. That's going to be quite fun. In main.css, have we defined that yet? Is that something that I'm yet to put in? Oh, no. Yes, it is. It's here. That's where I need to do it. Cool. So next week is going to be quite interesting because we're going to be dealing with all sorts. Where have I added the null coalescing operator? Where's that? Where is the null coalescing operator? That's modulus. That's turning it into a ternary. So that's how you would do it as a normal if statement. That's how you would do it as a ternary statement, or a ternary ternary expression. And then where is the null coalescing operator? Here we go. There we go. So you got items from orders, order items, or if that returns null, then we're actually going to return an empty array. So that's how you do the null coalescing operator in there. Which means that when we get to this point, when we're looping over the items array, if items is just a blank array, then when we loop over this, we're not going to print anything out. It's just going to be there's nothing going to be here because this is going to be a blank array, so it won't even loop over. Whereas if we were to keep it as it is, so this would return null, for instance. You can't loop over null, therefore this is going to throw an error. This is why we're using the null coalescing operator here, or the nullish coalescing operator, I should say, because it's checking whether it is null or not. And if it is, then we change the value. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to shoot off. That's really quite a lot of stuff today. I'm going to quickly commit this. So let's go to, it's in here, isn't it? This is where we need to do it. Git commit -am updating lesson 7 docs. Good stuff. Good stuff. Brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much for watching. Happy coding, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye.